Hi, this is Kim Droptiny bringing you chapter 17 of Beyond the Echo Cavern by BreAnna Teschendorf. Chapter 17, Itchy Feet. Annika, Gabe, and Charlie were sitting under the Velasquez tree where they had agreed to meet, talking about all they had just individually experienced that day and laughing together. They were all a little bit relieved to be together again, even though they had enjoyed themselves. They were still nervous in the new world and found comfort in the familiarity of each other. The puny bogs look like huge frogs, Gabe was telling them with animation, except they had pink spots on them and their eyes were like our eyes. They liked being scratched under the chin. They bury their heads in the sand when they sleep and look like big rocks. How did you ride them? Asked Charlie, finding it hard to envision riding a frog. We sat on their back, with our knees sort of up and our feet in front of their legs. They jumped like a frog. It was amazing. I fell off the first few times, but then I got the hang of it, and I was the fastest. We went down to these rocks by the ocean where the sugar water forms crystals. As Gabe said this, he pulled two white, foggy crystals out of his pocket. Here, I brought you guys each a piece. Suck on it. It tastes good. I already ate mine. Annika, you should try to ride a puny bog. It would be funny. You would fall off and scream. Annika chose to ignore him and sucked on her piece of candy. Thanks, Gabe. This is good, she said. Oh, pickles, yish! Charlie agreed, shoving the entire piece of sugar crystal into his mouth. But I don't understand. If you cannot save food, how did you bring me this? Huh? Gabe asked, not aware of the strange Mayan law about food. Nothing, shrugged Charlie. I'll ask Nakanar or Rivers later. I brought you guys something too, Annika said. You should have seen the bottom of the riverbed. It's so amazing, covered with pearls and jewels and... Jewels? Charlie asked with his mouth still full and his eyes widening. Yep, that is what I brought you, Annika smiled as she pulled the ruby and emerald out of her pockets and gave each boy a piece. Oh, man, said Gabe, obviously pleased with his gift. Oh, pickles, Annika! This is worth thousands! Charlie jumped to his feet. Take me to where you got it. Let's get more. At that moment, Hymnia came running across the field towards them. Friends, friends, she called, waving her hands, her white dress flying behind her, and her hair all wild and up. Ho-on sends word. Hymnia stopped short, nearly colliding with Annika, who put her hands up to catch the girl. What took so long? Demanded Charlie gruffly, as if he had been doing nothing that day but waiting around in great boredom. Indeed, Hymnia said, in her usual emphatic tone, as she drew a great breath. What did he say? Asked Annika. Well, not much, said Hymnia. Oh, great, Gabe interrupted sarcastically. Shush, Gabe, Annika glared at him. You aren't the boss, Buspani, Gabe glared back at her. Shush, both of you. I want to know what he said, Charlie said with passion. He said, the treasures of Pertamayan have been revealed in full to Charlie. He is to go and claim them, Hymnia concluded, and looked worriedly from face to face. Come again? Asked Charlie, with his nose wrinkled up and his mouth partly open. What? Asked Hymnia. Can you repeat it? Charlie asked again, impatiently. Oh, sure. The treasures of Pertamayan have been revealed in full to Charlie. He is to go and claim them. Have never thought of the trapped children as treasure, But if Hoan says so, Charlie, will you do it? Will you go? Himni asked him directly, her voice wild and eyes wide. Will I go? Go to help the children? Yes, absolutely I will, said Charlie. It was inconceivable to him that anyone would not go help the children, especially when one considered the treasure. Obviously, Charlie thought, if I helped those kids, Hoan would honor me with a treasure reward. And, he reasoned, if there were jewels in a riverbed, the hidden treasure must be unimaginably wonderful. Really? Wow, you are braver than I am, said Himnia, and she leaned back against the tree. What if you see her? Who? Gone. What was her name? Asked Charlie. Gondel, said Annika, who had an excellent memory. Yes, said Hymnia. Aren't you afraid of her? What about the snakes and other things in the darkness? These were things that Charlie had not considered. He was quite sure how to answer. He wasn't quite sure how to answer. And when he thought about the snakes and how they had nearly eaten him, he still felt a little sick to his stomach. We are royalty and we will be with him, said Annika, who had grown confident in her new royal status. Yeah, said Gabe, standing next to his sister and anxious for a chance to show his bravery. We beat those snakes once and we will beat them again. He conveniently forgot the little detail about Sephora appearing to save them. Charlie smiled at the siblings. He had never before been part of a group or gang. His only sibling, Joe, was 8 years older than he was. It felt good to suddenly have two people who were on his side, who were his own. When do we start? He said a little too loudly and cheerfully. Gabe, Annika, and Hymnia were silent. None of them were really sure when or how to start such an adventure. Definitely not until after dinner, Gabe eventually answered, smiling with two deep dimples. Everyone agreed. Hymnia said that she didn't have much to do that evening and would like to stay with them, if it was all right. Of course, they were pleased to be with their new friend. She took them to a little orchard full of fruits and vegetables, and they all helped themselves to a variety of yummy things before sitting on the grass to eat together. Hymnia told them stories about her time in the place with Hoan and funny stories about strange things that had happened in Perdamayan. The sun began to go down as they sat there, and as the air grew warmer, they all felt content and sleepy. I guess we could go tomorrow, said Charlie. His vision was no longer fresh, and his urgency about the children was waning. I think we should talk to Rivers before we go, said Annika thoughtfully, chewing on a piece of chewy fruit. Yes, Hymnia agreed. Rivers is our security chief. He knows the most about the darkness, and he will be able to give you wisdom for your journey. Journey? Asked Charlie in surprise. I thought the children were just there inside the cave. The cave goes underground for miles and miles, Charlie, Hymnia explained. We don't know exactly where the children are. It might take you a long time to find them. Is that so? Asked Charlie nonchalantly. He did not wish to show his shock and dismay about this startling piece of news. Charlie had assumed the mission would be an easy one, and that the other children were simply too afraid to venture to save the trapped ones. The full extent of his task had been unclear to him up until now. He knew that there might be obstacles and some little danger, but that he could be wandering in darkness for ages, not knowing where to go or what he might find there, was something else altogether. Charlie wondered if Hoan hated him. First, he had not been adopted or made royal or whatever, and now this horrendous vision and long, stupid journey before him. At least, he thought, I have Gabe and Annika. All of their thoughts turned to their first comparatively short, dark journey through the cave. None of them looked forward to spending days and days wandering in the darkness in which a feared witch was also inhabiting. "We will have to take your cool flashlight, Charlie," said Gabe, looking at him with serious, sincere eyes. End of chapter 17, and I'll see you in chapter 18. God bless you.